silly Jin Mutong was framed and sent deep into the dungeon. Shen Lang devised a plan, using the power of the third princess Ning Yan to lure the Chang Kingdom's envoy, allies of the Sue family, into burning down the sacred temple of the Yu Kingdom. Just as everything was going smoothly, Shen Lang was still in the dungeon, comforting his brother-in-law. Let me tell you, you must not let the fact that you were raped by the Chen family leave a shadow in your heart. Look at your brother-in-law, such an outstanding man as me. I was also raped by Chiu Yaoer, and it wasn't a big deal. Hearing Shen Lang comfort him in this way, Jin Mutong felt it made sense, but somehow it still seemed odd. After fooling his brother-in-law, Shen Lang looked towards the couple in the adjacent cell, yes, and then said sarcastically, Mrs. Chen, I really didn't see how such a frail body of yours could be so shameless. But fatty, you're quite lucky. Though Mrs. Chen is a bit old, she is still a beauty. You're not at a loss. Hearing Shen Lang's mocking words, Mr. and Mrs. Yu's faces contorted with anger. Just as Mr. Yu was about to retaliate, Shen Lang suddenly asked, Yufang, Jin Mutong's book has made you rich, so why did you frame him and get involved in this mess? Hearing this, Yufang could no longer hold back and shouted, what's the use of having money? Previously, because I privately sold Legend of the East Departure, I was extorted by a bunch of petty officers to the point of bankruptcy. They sent me to jail 3 times. Since then, I've realized that in this world, money is useless. What I want is power. Shen Lang smiled faintly and said, so, in order to climb up the ranks, you sent your wife to sleep with the butler of the distant guard marquis's residence, Su Yong, is that right? Upon hearing this, Yufang's face changed drastically. How could Shen Lang know about this? However, Shen Lang just smiled and remained silent. For him, investigating this matter was simple. Just send someone to check who Yufang had contacted during the time he was being extorted, and he would find his target. However, it was clear that Yufang couldn't think of this, and in his panic, he simply claimed that he and Su Yong had no connection with the Su family, urging Shen Lang not to make baseless accusations. After hearing this, Shen Lang ignored his panic and continued to press, Yufang, since Su Yong had once saved your family property, why would you frame Jin Mutong? Do you think the mythical turtle count's mansion is easy to bully? Yufang looked at him coldly and disdainfully said, this is the capital city. Your mythical turtle count's mansion is nothing but a stationary turtle here. Can it make any big waves? Moreover, they promised me that as long as I helped them, they would let me work in the Su family's internal bureau as an Imperial Academy scholar, specifically in charge of jade procurement. That's a 9th grade official position, and a lucrative one at that. From now on, Yufang will have both money and power. He couldn't suppress his excitement and burst into laughter. At that moment, a jailer came over. Yufang, pack up. I'm here to take you to another cell. Hearing this, Yufang became even more smug. As he walked out of the cell, he did not forget to mock Shen Lang. See, this is power. Even if Jin Mutong is the heir to the count's mansion, what can he do? He still has to be obediently imprisoned here. Yufang will comfortably move into a room. After countless officials impeach your Jin family, all you can do is wait for death here. He then turned around, laughing, and followed the jailer out of the cell. Watching Yufang's departing figure, Shen Lang remained silent behind him, only smiling. Enjoy your last night. By tomorrow, you will see what it costs to offend me, Shen Lang. However, as they left the cell, Wang Chica's confidant stopped and said, I heard your wife is very good at cooking abalone. Yufang was startled by this remark, but soon realized what the other meant. Seeing Yufang nod, Wang Chica's confidant said nothing more and directly turned around, taking Mrs. Chen with him to leave. Half an hour later, Mrs. Chen appeared in Wang Chica's room. However, just 5 minutes later, Wang Chica was drenched in sweat, lying on the bed, still savoring the taste. Mrs. Chen's cooking is indeed excellent. No wonder even Su Yong, who has seen countless beauties, could eat it for 3 days without tiring. Yufang is ruthless enough to go to such lengths just for a 9th rank official position. He even went so far as to harm Jin Mutong, that chubby boy, just to complete Lord Su's mission. At that moment, Mrs. Chen hugged Wang Chica from behind and said, My lord, Shen Lang humiliated me so much in the court today. You must find a way to kill him and avenge me. Wang Chica shook his head and said, it's impossible to kill him. Although Shen Lang is in the capital city, the power of his mythical turtle count's mansion cannot be underestimated. If we push the mythical turtle count too hard, it would be difficult to explain to the sovereign. Mrs. Chen responded indignantly, but we can't just let that beast Shen Lang humiliate me like this. Wang Chica turned over, pinning Mrs. Chen down, and smiled. Don't worry, Shen Lang is staying at the Jin's courtyard house. Tomorrow, after the officials impeach the Jin family, Jin Mutong's scandal will shock the capital city, and then people will attack the Jin's courtyard house. Mrs. Chen, excited by this idea, said, then at that time, we'll set the Jin's courtyard house on fire. He accused me of being promiscuous. Let's also let those people harm the women brought by Shen Lang. Meanwhile, after Shen Lang was released from prison, the 5th prince personally escorted him to the Jin's courtyard house. Along the way, Ningjing was amazed at Shen Lang's impressive performance in court tonight, but at the same time, he was more concerned about how the various ministers would impeach the Jin family in the court tomorrow. Just then, the carriage suddenly came to a screeching halt. A guard then opened the door and reported, Your Highness, there is a blaze reaching the sky in the direction of the sacred temple. It seems a major fire has broken out. Ningjing was startled. Who would dare prepare to set fire to the sacred temple. Beside him, Shen Lang revealed a meaningful smile. This third princess really didn't let him down. After the two got off the carriage and saw the huge fire ahead, Ningjing exclaimed, "This is the sacred hall of scholars all over the world. Setting this fire is even more severe than digging up the tombs of ancient kings." At this point, Ningjing suddenly turned to Shen Lang and asked, "Did you do this?" Shen Lang smiled and said, "Yes and no. The fire was set by the Cham Kingdom's envoy." Upon hearing this, Ningjing's expression immediately became complex, a mix of shock and disbelief. Suddenly, he got excited. "Shen Lang, you are incredible. This not only reverses the course of tomorrow's court, but also directs the blame towards the Sue family." After the excitement, he expressed concern. After the initial outrage over the temple being burned passes, the focus might return to Jin Mutong. Shen Lang, however, remained very calm and said, "To solve this once and for all, we need to eradicate the root cause. Tomorrow, we take action and eliminate Yufang's entire family." Ningjing was startled. Yufang is currently the plaintiff in the Jin Mutong case. Shen Lang sneered and said, "It's quite simple, and we don't even have to do it ourselves. We just need to let another group in the capital city, who are tough to deal with, take action." Next, Shen Lang was to go to the Great Flame Empire's embassy in Yu Kingdom to find an even stronger ally. The Great Flame Empire is the overlord among the nations, so the position of the Empire's ambassador in Yu Kingdom is quite high. Ning Yan and Yun Mengzi hit it off right away, thus he became one of Ning Yan's rare friends. Yun Mengzi was complaining about being disturbed from a good sleep when Ning Yan, looking serious, told him that the sacred temple in Yu Kingdom had been burned. Yun Mengzi, upon hearing this, was completely indifferent. "So it burned. What's that to me? Hurry up and go. Don't disturb my sleep." Seeing this, Ning Yan immediately pulled out a book, The Amorous History of East Departure, and threw it in front of him. The moment Yun Mengzi saw the book title, he woke up. "Have you and Yu Kingdom gone mad? The craze for Legend of the East Departure just passed, and now you start selling The Amorous History of East Departure? Are the heads of your booksellers made of iron? Aren't they afraid of dying? Aren't they afraid of getting their entire families killed? You should know that this book chronicles the romantic history of Emperor Jianli. It describes how the emperor had dalliances with everyone in the Great Flame Dynasty, from the Empress Dowager to commoners. If they were beauties, the emperor had involved himself with them all. Thus, if the Great Flame royal family could barely tolerate Legend of the East Departure, they would definitely ban The Amorous History of East Departure and confiscate properties directly." At this moment, Ning Yan said with a cheeky grin, "Of course, there are those who aren't afraid of death, like the famous Skywind bookshop that is selling it." Yun Mengzi immediately waved his hands in dismissal. "Impossible. Skywind bookshop was already severely punished because of Legend of the East Departure. How could they dare to blatantly sell The Amorous History of East Departure?" Ning Yan glanced at him and said, "If you don't believe it, go check for yourself. They have a whole bunch stored in their warehouse." Upon hearing this, Yun Mengzi was first stunned, then quickly realized, "You're trying to set someone up." Ning Yan smiled slightly. "Exactly. I want to annihilate his entire family." Yun Mengzi's smile faded, and he asked, "Does this person have any backing? What has he done to offend you?" Ning Yan earnestly replied, "This person is just a petty scholar who tried to trade his wife for a government post. But he didn't offend me. He offended my brother." Upon hearing Ning Yan say it was for his brother, Yun Mengzi exploded. "Didn't you say I was your only brother? Where did this other brother come from?" Ning Yan got heated as well. "He cured my illness. He saved my life. What's wrong with making him my brother? Are you going to help or not?" Yun Mengzi, of course, knew how serious Ning Yan's previous illness had been, and he was shocked by this. But after the shock, he laughed and said, "I'll help. That's no problem. But I have one condition. You can't compete with me for women anymore. What's the point if you can't use them and always compete with me?" Ning Yan, left with no choice, agreed. Yun Mengzi took the deal and immediately set out to take care of Ning Yan's business that very night. An hour later, Yun Mengzi personally led a raid on Skywind Bookshop, discovering a large quantity of The Amorous History of East Departure. Subsequently, he sent people to the palace before dawn to meet Sovereign Ning Yuanxian. Upon learning of this, the sovereign issued an immediate imperial decree without asking about the process to exterminate the entire family. And several hours before, at the Court of Judicial Review, Zhang Chang's second son, Zhang Sun, was still kneeling there through wind and rain. Although he was genuinely sharing his father's suffering, it was also to ensure that the sovereign would not forget his father, a loyal official. However, the Grand Imperial Censor Wang Qingqiu suddenly came over. "Lord Zhang, you are indeed still here. Your filial piety has already spread throughout the capital city. However, you cannot keep kneeling like this. There is a great opportunity right now. If you handle it, it might just help your father out of his predicament." Wang Qingqiu whispered into Zhang Sun's ear, exaggerating the atrocity of Jin Mutong assaulting a common girl. "As for grudges, your Zhang family and the Jin family have the deepest feud. Therefore, the entire Imperial Censorate has decided to let you be the chief author of the impeachment memorial, which will also let the sovereign know about your family's loyalty, and it will benefit your father." After saying this, Wang Qingqiu left with a remark, "Tomorrow morning at court, we await Lord Zhang's handwriting." He then turned around and left without further comment. Watching Wang Qingqiu's departing figure, Zhang Sun shook his head. These old fellows just wanted him to be the fall guy. He was well aware that his brother Zhang Ji's death had already extinguished the feud between their families. Right now, saving his father was the priority, and there was no need for him to be the scapegoat. But not writing it would be a different kind of omission. He immediately ordered someone to fetch paper and ink. Moments later, he lay on the ground and wrote an impeachment memorial that was neither harsh nor mild, enough to satisfy the officials and let the sovereign know his intentions. Suddenly, a distant fire caught his attention. "Young master, that seems to be in the direction of the sacred temple," an old servant of the Zhang family said anxiously. After hearing this, Zhang Sun was shocked and hurriedly sent the old servant to investigate the situation. Half an hour later, the old servant returned in a panic. "Young master, it's bad. It's people from the Chan Kingdom's envoy who are setting fire to the sacred temple." Zhang Sun was stunned. The Chan Kingdom's envoy? Aren't they allies of Sunan? After calming down, Zhang Sun thought about the underlying issue. If the Chan Kingdom's envoys set fire to the sacred temple, who would benefit the most? It would undoubtedly be the Jin family, and the most unlucky would be the Sue family. He then looked again towards the direction of the fire, contemplating, could this be another of Shen Lang's masterpieces? If it really is him, that would be incredible. He hurriedly tore up the memorial in his hand. Lucky break. Thankfully our Zhang family has no grievances with the Jin family now. He then quickly ordered someone to bring new paper and ink, now sure of his target for the memorial. Meanwhile, the Grand Imperial Censor Wang Chengzhou was still oblivious to these events. The balding official was still preoccupied with how to impeach the Jin family at the morning court and bring disgrace upon their family. He knew that by cooperating with the Sue family to block the Jin family's route to becoming Marquis, he could please Marquis Sunan. After getting everything in order, he mounted his carriage and headed towards the capital city Grand Hall. However, he hadn't gone far when the noise on the street stopped his carriage. With no choice, he stuck his head out to ask why there were so many people gathered on the streets even though it was not yet dawn. The people said that the sacred temple was burned last night. Upon hearing this, Wang Chengzhou was shocked. The sacred temple is the holy place of officials nationwide. Setting fire to it meant extermination of the perpetrator's entire family. But this was too coincidental. Could it be Shen Lang's doing? With this thought, he no longer cared about going to the palace and quickly sent his attendants to gather information. Moments later, the attendants ran back in a panic. "My lord, it's bad. It was people from the Chan Kingdom's envoy who, drunk, set fire to the sacred temple." Wang Chengzhou was shocked again. Have these people from the Chan Kingdom gone mad? Normally their mischief is tolerable, but this time they dared to set fire to the sacred temple. Trouble is brewing, Wang Chengzhou thought, but the next second, he seemed to think of something and immediately ordered his attendants to return home at top speed. He needed to hurry back and rewrite the memorial. He didn't want the sovereign to think he was covering up for the Chan Kingdom people because of the Jin Mutong incident. At the same time, in Marquis Sunan's residence, after a night of strenuous effort, Marquis Sunan got out of bed full of vigor. Looking at the young woman beside him and his robust physique, who could imagine his usual frail and sickly appearance? At this moment, Sunan wanted to have another battle early in the morning, but thinking of the important matters he had to attend to today, he forcefully suppressed his desires. He then got up and was dressed and washed by his maidservants, without needing to lift a finger himself. Once fully dressed, he came to the dining table, where Su Jianting had already been waiting for a while. Su Jianting was very excited about the impeachment of the Jin family planned for today. "Father, the civil and military officials have prepared the impeachment memorials. The court will surely be bustling today." Sunan did not respond, simply picking up his bowl to drink some porridge, while Su Jianting continued to speak incessantly. Jinzhua is like a turtle hiding in its shell, never leaving his own little plot of land. Even if he obtained Furious Tide City, he would still be on the fringes of power. Now with Jin Mutong involved in this scandal, with a little manipulation, we can make everyone kick him while he's down. Sunan wiped his mouth and asked, "What is the current situation with Jin Mutong?" His confidant, Suyong, replied, "The crime Jin Mutong has committed this time won't kill him, but it's likely to cost him dearly. As for Shen Lang, with so many enemies, his end will only be worse. Jinzhua still wants to be ennobled as a marquis and sit on an equal footing with you. Marquis, it's sheer folly." Hearing this, Sunan suddenly asked, "What about those Chan Kingdom envoys who stayed in the capital city?" Suyong responded, "It's the same as always. They manage to cause some minor trouble every day." Sunan sneered, "Let them be. The more reckless they are, the better for us." At this moment, Su Jianting excitedly said, "Father, can't we use these Chan people to plot against Shen Lang? We could easily pin some crime on him, and with his current behavior, surely the sovereign would punish him even if he doesn't kill him." Sunan did not reply, but he did not object either. However, just then, a servant rushed in, flustered, "Marquis, something terrible has happened." Hearing this, Suyong quickly stepped forward and slapped the servant. "What are you shouting about so early in the morning? Keep your composure in front of the Marquis." The servant immediately knelt down, stammering, "The sacred temple was burned last night." At this, Sunan sharply turned to look at him. Seeing this, Suyong quickly asked the servant what had happened. The servant cautiously said, "It was those envoys from the Chan Kingdom who did it. After burning it, they even urinated on the temple publicly." "What did you say?" Su Jianting couldn't help but stand up. "Are they insane? Are all the slaves monitoring the Chan Kingdom's envoys dead? Why didn't they stop them? At this moment, Sunan's face had already turned ashen, and it took him a while to lean back in his chair and slowly exhale. It seems that the Sue family has been set up. Hearing this, Su Jianting panicked. Father, what should we do? Is it still possible to distance ourselves from the Chan Kingdom now? Sunan shook his head and said, to enjoy the sharpness of a sword, one must be prepared for the consequences of cuts. Now that something has happened, anger will not solve the problem. I will go to the sovereign to confess and willingly submit to an investigation. He then stood up straight. Following this, Sunan contained his true energy within himself, and after a few manipulations, he instantly appeared a decade older. Dragging his weary body, he said to Su Jianting, accompany me to meet His Majesty. Inside the royal palace, the sovereign was in a fury. A torn-up memorial flew straight at Ning Yan, and the sovereign roared, Ning Yan, do you have anything to do with the Chan Kingdom's envoys burning down the sacred temple? Ning Yan shrugged with righteous indignation. I just couldn't stand the Chan people bullying our citizens, so I taught them a lesson. As for burning the temple, that has nothing to do with me. Seeing her arguing so forcefully, the sovereign grew even angrier. The incident with the Chan people hitting someone had already happened several days ago. You didn't go earlier or later, but just last night. Moreover, the women who were drinking with the Chan people last night have now all disappeared. Do you really think everyone else is a fool? After hearing this, Ning Yan said indifferently, I don't care about others. I just need to consider myself a fool. Hearing this, the sovereign's temples throbbed. Calming down, he then asked her if this matter had anything to do with Shen Lang. Ning Yan panicked at the mention of Shen Lang's name, waving her hands and saying that it was all her doing and had nothing to do with Shen Lang. Seeing her attitude, the sovereign frowned, appearing even more puzzled and annoyed. The sovereign's eyes narrowed. Ning Yan, you wouldn't happen to have slept with this young man, would you? As soon as he said this, Ning Yan hurriedly clarified, I only think of Shen Lang as a brother. Seeing this, the sovereign was speechless and simply sat down on his chair. He seriously doubted whether this silly girl was really his own daughter. Shen Lang, even daring to use my daughter, are you really not afraid to die? At that moment, two eunuchs walked in. One reported that the fifth prince was bringing Shen Lang to confess, and the other said that Marquis Sunan was also outside the hall, kneeling and asking to see His Majesty to confess. Hearing this, the sovereign burst into an angry laugh. You two groups have even come together to confess. He then directly said, bring Shen Lang in, and let Sunan keep kneeling outside. The cunning and crafty distant guard Marquis Sunan, a leading noble of the old guard in Yu Kingdom, outwardly appeared loyal to the sovereign Ning Yuanxian, but was in fact a treacherous person with hidden motives. The Su family, ostensibly supporters of sovereign Ning Yuanxian, were actually under the thumb of the Chan people. 20 years ago, they had already started major trade dealings privately with the leader of the Chan country, and their close relationship allowed the Su family to monopolize Yu Kingdom's diplomatic strategy with the Chan country, becoming an inseparable alliance. When the sovereign initiated reforms, the Su family was who he most wanted to eliminate, but he was also aware that if he took action against the Su family, the Chan country would definitely invade and plunder. To avoid war, the sovereign not only turned a blind eye to the Su family's threatening stance, but also specially invited Sunan back to serve as the army garrison general. This burning of the sacred temple by the Chan Kingdom's delegation was clearly Shen Lang's doing, with a clear purpose, to frame the Su family. For the sovereign, having finally caught a flaw in Sunan's facade, it was natural to want to make him bleed severely. At that moment, a stunningly beautiful and elegant woman entered. She was Sunan's sister, Su Fei, and also the biological mother of Ning Zheng and Ning Jing. She spoke with a worried face. I heard that the sacred temple was burned by those villains from the Chan Kingdom. I thought His Majesty would be very troubled by this, so I came right away. Hearing this, the sovereign immediately understood Su Fei's intentions and said directly, my love, there's no need to worry. Su Junior Protector has worked hard and achieved much. How could I punish him for this? You go back and rest. Su Fei glanced at the wreckage in the room, realizing the sovereign was still furious, and dared not speak further. She bowed and excused herself. As she turned around, a shadow of gloom flickered in her eyes. She had intended to have her brother secretly confess to the sovereign before the court session to mitigate the blame, but from the conversation, it was clear the sovereign was evading the issue. It seemed that this time, the sovereign was determined to let the officials impeach the Su family in the court. She knew her position in the harem entirely depended on her brother, and she must whisper more to the empress in the future. Meanwhile, outside the palace, Shen Lang arrived and saw Sunan and his son already kneeling there waiting for the sovereign's summons. Seeing this, he quickly stepped forward to pay his respects. Nephew-in-law Shen Lang pays respects to uncle. Sunan looked up at Shen Lang with his cloudy eyes and did not speak, only nodding. Su Jianting, on the other hand, looked at Shen Lang with disdain and told him to get lost quickly, not to disturb them here. Shen Lang naturally did not indulge him. Su Jianting, you think this is your house? I came to pay respects to my uncle as his junior. Do you really want to start a fight with me outside the royal palace hall? After saying this, he leaned closer to Sunan and whispered, you must have heard rumors that I said yesterday during my audience with His Majesty that I wanted to kill you. Those are all rumors. Please don't believe them. Seeing this, Su Jianting Jianting scowled and said, "Got the nerve to say it but not to own it. It's too late to change your story now." Shen Lang smirked. "I told you those were rumors. What I clearly said yesterday was that I wanted to kill your entire Sue family." Hearing this, Su Jianting was almost exploded with rage, wishing he could draw his sword and kill Shen Lang right there. How dare this kid be so brazen? Meanwhile, Shen Lang grinned and pointed at him. "Su Jianting, have you eaten the heart of a bear and the gall of a leopard? Thinking of drawing your sword to kill someone here? Are you trying to revolt?" At this point, Sunan finally turned his head and took a good look at Shen Lang. He never expected that the Shen Lang, rumored to be almost demonically clever, would be like this, so shameless. Su Jianting then shouted from the side, "Shen Lang, did you orchestrate the burning of the sacred temple?" Shen Lang chuckled. "To tell the truth, I admit it was my doing." Such a direct admission infuriated Su Jianting even further. Shen Lang then turned around and continued, "This is the trap I designed to rescue Jin Mutong and also to frame your Su family. Su Jianting, I am always straightforward in front of my enemies. I never beat around the bush. What can you do to me? If you have the guts, go complain about me in front of His Majesty." Even Ningjin couldn't help but twitch his mouth. Hearing such a brazen response, and seeing Su Jianting almost bursting with rage, he shook his head. Although he had heard about Shen Lang's character, seeing him being so shameless in person was still something he wasn't used to. Sunan, who had been silent by the side, just looked up at Shen Lang upon hearing his words, smiling serenely and remaining calm. This demeanor impressed Shen Lang. This old man really knows how to endure. He understands everything yet remains so calm. Truly a cunning fox. If Zhang Chong is sharp like a sword, then Sunan is like a pool of formless, shadowless poison. It seems I've met another top-notch opponent. Things are getting more interesting. In the midst of the commotion, the officials gradually gathered outside the palace. The first person Shen Lang saw was Governor Zhu Rong, whom he approached without hesitation and started chatting up close. Zhu Rong was startled. "Why is Shen Lang here? Are we close? It seems like we were enemies before." Thinking this, Zhu Rong gave a perfunctory nod, then stepped past him, heading for the Grand Hall. At that moment, Shen Lang suddenly said from behind him, "Governor Zhu Rong, remember to impeach Marquis Sunan in court, as the Su family is the main culprit behind the burning of the sacred temple." Zhu Rong was shocked. "Are you mad, Shen Lang? Daring to openly ask a minister outside the royal palace to impeach another minister?" However, before he could react, Shen Lang had already run off towards the brother of the West Guard Marquis, Zhong Yi, with the same overly familiar attitude as if meeting an old friend, and repeated the same words he had said to Zhu Rong. "Count Zhong Yi, please make sure to impeach the Su family, to seek justice for all the scholars." Zhong Yi paused. "A mere son-in-law, come here trying to connect with me? Don't you know about my family's relationship with the Shui family, and you still want me to impeach the Su family? Are you out of your mind?" With that thought, Zhong Yi flung his official sleeve and walked away, ignoring Shen Lang. However, Shen Lang was completely unfazed by this, still approaching any official who came for the court session to cozy up to them. He eventually got so carried away that he ran up the stairs, shouting for all officials to join him in impeaching the Su family. Su Jianting could no longer tolerate Shen Lang's actions. He wanted to tear Shen Lang to pieces right then and there, but he ultimately restrained himself and sent someone to call the palace guards to arrest Shen Lang. Meanwhile, Sunan appeared outwardly calm, but inside he was utterly shocked. Shen Lang's actions were truly without any limits. He was blatantly reminding the officials from the Crown Prince and Third Prince's factions not to miss this opportunity to tear flesh from the Su family. Such a brilliant maneuver, utterly ruthless. This scene was coincidentally witnessed by the eunuch sent by the sovereign to summon Shen Lang, who had been disrespected by Shen Lang at the palace the previous day. Seeing Shen Lang spouting off like this, the eunuch couldn't help feeling secretly pleased, thinking that this incident would not only earn him a favor in front of the sovereign but also allow him a chance for revenge against Shen Lang settling a score. Su Fei and the Crown Prince might even reward him generously for this. With this thought, he hurried back to the document office to report the matter to the sovereign. "Your Majesty, Shen Lang is causing a ruckus outside the Grand Hall, which is a disgrace to the royal dignity and shows no respect for your Majesty. Such a treasonous person must be severely punished." Upon hearing this, the sovereign's gaze turned cold, and a surge of murderous intent rose in his heart. Of course, this intent was not directed at Shen Lang, and he coldly inquired, "Is this young man really so bold and reckless?" However, the little eunuch, oblivious to this, thought his plan had succeeded and hastily replied, "Your Majesty, please calm your anger. I will have someone arrest Shen Lang right now." Unbeknownst to him, the sovereign's personal eunuch, Eunuch Li, had been standing behind the screen, observing everything. He shook his head and sighed. This young eunuch is still too naive, not even understanding the sovereign's real intentions, and dares to act so recklessly. He's probably not long for this world. At that moment, the sovereign waved his hand and ordered, "Immediately bring that miscreant to me." Overjoyed by the sovereign's command, the little eunuch turned and ran outside. When he got to the palace gates, Shen Lang was still giving his fiery speech to the arriving ministers. Upon his command, the guards surged forward. However, even as the guards captured him, Shen Lang did not forget to shout one last time, "Remember to impeach the Su family in court later." As the guards led him away, Eunuch Li gave the arrogant young eunuch a meaningful look with a disdain disdainful gaze, as if looking at a man walking to his death. Then he slowly approached Sunan and his son, Su Jr. Protector. The ground is cold and hard. You should get up and enter the grand hall to warm up. Sunan feigned an old man's frailty as he lifted his head with a tremble and thanked unically. With Su Jianting's support, shakily stood up. His body, old and frail as if he might fall at any moment, made unically quickly step forward to assist, as if fearing Sunan might collapse the next second. Moments later, Sunan finally managed to move laboriously into the hall. As he entered, the eyes of all the civil and military officials uniformly turned towards him, yet Sunan remained as steady as an old dog, calmly making his way to the side of the crown prince and the third prince to pay his respects. The eunuch delivering the decree stepped forward and loudly proclaimed, by the sovereign's command, the son-in-law of the mythical turtle count's mansion, Shen Lang, has behaved recklessly and disrespectfully in front of the palace, showing no regard for the law. He is therefore to be whipped 30 times outside the hall as a punishment. The mythical turtle count has failed in his supervision, and his salary will be docked for 3 years. As the decree was read, officials saw that Shen Lang had already been restrained in a wooden chair outside the hall. At a command, a guard began lashing him with a whip. As the whip cracked and flesh was torn, Shen Lang began to howl. The small eunuch, though somewhat gloating, couldn't help but feel that the howling sounded somewhat fake. It wasn't until the final lash fell that Shen Lang suddenly let out a scream like a slaughtered pig, then heavily fell from the wooden chair. Moments later, 2 guards carried Shen Lang into the sovereign's study. Ning Zheng, worried about his condition, followed closely. Upon seeing Ning Zheng, the sovereign frowned, his gaze unmistakably filled with disgust, and he casually waved for Ning Zheng to wait outside. Shen Lang was then thrown onto the floor by the guards. At this point, the sovereign coldly asked, "Shen Lang, do you admit your guilt?" Trembling, Shen Lang knelt and replied, "This humble one admits his guilt. Then I ask you, was the burning of the sacred temple your scheme?" Without any attempt to hide it, Shen Lang openly admitted, "Yes, it was indeed my idea." Although the sovereign had already suspected Shen Lang was behind it, facing such candidness was still somewhat shocking, prompting him to ask why he would commit such an atrocity. Shen Lang, with a resolute gaze, bluntly said, "To save Jin Mutong, to exterminate the entire Sue family." The sovereign was even more shocked. This young man had already spoken this audacious statement in front of him once before, and this time he even schemed to burn the sacred temple. Truly, he is fearless. After a light cough, he continued to ask, "Do you know of any other crimes you have committed?" Shen Lang straightforwardly said, "This criminal should not have used Princess Ning Yan." The sovereign scoffed, "So you knew? Did you really think that because the mythical turtle count took over Furious Tide City, you had a backer, and I would not kill you?" After hearing this, Shen Lang fell silent, then bowed his head deeply. At this moment, eunuchly approached, "Your Majesty, it is time for court." Hearing this, the sovereign said no more, stood up to prepare for court, and as he walked past Shen Lang, he left a message, "Kneel here properly and wait for your fate after the court session." Then he ignored him and walked straight out of the study. After the sovereign had left, the small eunuch sneakily slipped into the study. He was delighted inside to see Shen Lang's downfall. "Who let you offend me that day in the Hall of Mercy? I'll see how arrogant you can be now. After the court session, your end will come." However, just then, Shen Lang suddenly stood up, startling the small eunuch. Immediately, he jumped out and pointed at Shen Lang, shouting, "How dare you? Shen Lang, you dare defy the royal command. Kneel down at once." Hearing this, Shen Lang casually cleaned his ears, then with a face full of disdain, "Idiot." Instantly, the small eunuch was stunned. How dare Shen Lang utter such filthy words in the sovereign's study? "Guards, give him 30 slaps." As the words fell, 2 other eunuchs stepped forward to restrain Shen Lang. Just as the small eunuch's hand was about to strike Shen Lang's face, Princess Ning Yan suddenly appeared and kicked the small eunuch away. She then shouted angrily, "I'll see who dares to touch a hair on Shen Lang's head." The small eunuch was sent tumbling out. Seeing this, he ignored the pain in his body, quickly got up with a few others, and knelt on the ground, pleading for forgiveness. Ning Yan couldn't be bothered with these eunuchs, warned them verbally, and then told them to get out. Ning Yan looked at Shen Lang and asked if the whipping had hurt. Shen Lang turned and patted his battered coat, laughing, "Of course not. Those 30 lashes were all on this armor. I didn't expect this armor could actually produce blood. Truly a first-class prop for acting." Ning Yan immediately felt proud. "To ensure no slips, I soaked the cotton inside the armor in blood. That's why the whipping looked so convincingly painful." However, Shen Lang angrily pulled open his collar to show Ning Yan, "This last lash actually scraped my neck. I seriously suspect that guard did it on purpose." Ning Yan couldn't help but laugh foolishly. The guard was whipping so energetically, and you, Shen Lang, were screaming so unconvincingly. It's simply disrespectful to his efforts. No wonder he had to vent his emotions a bit. At this moment, the small eunuch eavesdropping around the corner was stunned by their conversation. "Shen Lang, you really are seeking death, not only faking the sovereign's commands, but also dragging Princess Ning Yan into deceiving everyone." Ning Yan suddenly asked, "By the way, Shen Lang, last time at the 10,000 Years County office, did you take advantage of me?" Shen Lang quickly explained, "How could I? When I was treating you, I pulled your pants down only to your abdomen, never crossing the line. How could I take advantage of you in front of so many people?" Ning Yan thought back to the treatment, and indeed Shen Lang hadn't done anything inappropriate, but he He had indeed patted her chest outside the county office. Seeing her uncertainty, Shen Lang cried out in protest. Pat was merely a gesture of brotherhood. How could you, a woman, think so indecently? It's a desecration of our brotherly bond. After saying this, without waiting for Ning Yan's reaction, he went forward and patted her again. This sudden chest pat left Ning Yan stunned on the spot, and after a moment she recovered. Alright, maybe that's just normal interaction between brothers. Shen Lang quickly continued. Between us, we have transcended gender. When I see you, it's like seeing my own brother. My body doesn't even react anymore. Seeing Ning Yan looking down in silence, Shen Lang suddenly shouted, Princess Ning Yan, you wouldn't be harboring inappropriate thoughts about me, would you? Ning Yan, flustered, swore, I absolutely have no other intentions. If I have inappropriate thoughts, may heaven strike me with thunder. Unexpectedly, as soon as her words ended, a clap of thunder with lightning tore through the sky. Ning Yan became extremely embarrassed. What is heaven trying to do? I was telling the truth. While Ning Yan was desperately explaining to Shen Lang, the small eunuch hiding behind the screen was plotting how to accuse Shen Lang before the sovereign. Shen Lang, the crimes of deceiving the emperor and disrespecting the princess that you have committed. I can't wait to see how the sovereign will execute you. At the same time, atop the Grand Hall, the Yu Kingdom's court session had officially begun. At this moment, Sovereign Ning Yuanxian was indignantly denouncing the Chan Kingdom's envoys for burning the Yu Kingdom's sacred temple. My dear ministers, this sacred temple is our divine residence. Now that the Chan people have burned our temple, this act is nothing less than digging at the roots of our civilization, a tragedy for the saints of the Yu Kingdom. Just then, as if to underscore the sovereign's words, a clap of thunder resounded through the sky. Instantly, every minister in the hall was moved by the sovereign's earth-shattering speech, tears streaming down their faces, some even collapsing to the floor in tears. The Chan people's destruction of the temple is like desecrating our ancestral graves, a hatred that is irreconcilable. Some ministers, overwhelmed by their emotions, even spat out blood and fainted on the spot. Following this, with the ministers' voices of anger, they one by one presented the decrees they had prepared overnight to the sovereign, all condemning the barbarism of the Chan people from a high cultural ground. An hour later, seeing that the atmosphere had been sufficiently built up, the sovereign said, My dear ministers, since this has happened, let us discuss how to deal with this matter. After speaking, the crown prince and the third prince's trusted ministers, as if they had agreed beforehand, stepped forward simultaneously to present their reports to the sovereign. Seeing this, the sovereign thought, it seems my sons truly understand my intentions. It was at this moment that Sunan suddenly rushed forward, knelt between the two ministers, and with pounding chest and tears streaming down, confessed his guilt. The Chang delegation committed outrages in the capital city, and although the Sue family dispatched people to closely monitor them, we failed to prevent them from burning the sacred temple. All faults lie with me. I beg your majesty to impose a punishment. I am willing to resign from my post and take my family back to our hometown. Upon hearing this, the sovereign was instantly filled with anger. Sunan, you sly old fox, always full of theatrics, knowing full well that the war with Southern Ouyang is not over yet and that any disturbance with the Chan cannot occur. Are you using your resignation to threaten me? Although Sunan's tears streamed down his face, his heart already knew he had firmly caught the sovereign in his grip. Sure enough, the sovereign's expression softened, and he helped Sunan to his feet, saying, Minister Sue, you speak too gravely. He then continued, your family is a pillar of our nation. I cannot afford to be without you by my side. At this, the crown prince and the third prince exchanged glances, choosing to remain silent. How could they continue to impeach when this old man dared to use his resignation to pressure the emperor? Although the sovereign was filled with unexpressed anger, he would not let Sunan easily get away with this. With a look of concern, he said, Minister Sue, you have always been at the forefront against the Chang, and no one is your equal in managing them. I would still like to hear your suggestions on how to handle this matter. Unexpectedly, Sunan replied directly, all envoys responsible for burning the sacred temple should be killed. Only by executing them can we quell the public's anger. This statement caused an uproar in the court. All knew that the Chang people were desperate madmen. Killing their envoys would surely provoke relentless retaliatory actions from the Chang king. Even the sovereign frowned upon hearing this. Does Sunan really dare to go this far? Seeing Sunan's resolute expression, he stated powerfully, the Sue family is willing to defend the frontier for your majesty and hold off the Chang forces. The sovereign's eyes narrowed slightly, realizing that Sunan was planning to let his family pay the price this time. As for how much it would take to appease the anger of the Chang king, that was his concern. Suddenly, the sovereign said, the Chang people destroyed our sacred temple, which is destroying our faith. Merely killing a few envoys might not appease the public. Sunan, knowing the sovereign would not let him off so easily, then suggested, your majesty could send an envoy, carrying the heads of the Chang delegation, to reprimand the Chang king, ordering him to submit a letter of apology to our state. The sovereign then decisively commanded, very well, not only that, but we will also demand that the Chang contribute to rebuilding the capital city's sacred temple and construct a temple in their own country for all to respect. Hearing this, Sunan's eyes almost brimmed with murderous intent. The sovereign's challenge was clearly setting him up for a likely fatal mission, but this might also be an opportunity opportunity. Kneeling again, Sunan said, I recommend someone from within, free from personal biases. The Jin family, my relatives, and Shen Lang, the son-in-law of the mythical turtle count, with his gifted tongue and impressive talents, demonstrated his capability during the battle at Furious Tide City. If he were to represent the sovereign on a mission to the Chang, I believe he could achieve our goals and restore your kingdom's dignity. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was stunned. Shen Lang had just defended the Sue family, and now Sunan, Marquis, had righteously placed him in a deadly situation. Indeed, experience comes with age, and it seems that Marquis Sunan is guaranteed to win this game. Upon hearing this proposal, all the nobles and ministers present were shocked. Even the sovereign saw through Sunan's intentions. He was trying to use someone else to kill Shen Lang, effectively sending him to his death in Chang. Seeing the neutral ministers in the court stepping forward to support Sunan's proposal, the crown prince was delighted, seeing it as a perfect opportunity to eliminate Shen Lang. He then made a sign to his confidants, and the officials aligned with the crown prince also stepped forward to support. Noticing his elder brother's intentions, the third prince naturally agreed with the crown prince. Suddenly, there was a unanimous voice in the court. For the first time, the court officials surprisingly reached a consensus to unanimously recommend Shen Lang as the envoy to Chang. Seeing this scene, the sovereign was extremely irritated. He had hoped to use today's event to have the ministers impeach Sunan, but instead, it turned into an opportunity for Sunan to plot the killing of Shen Lang. Sunan, you old viper, are still so difficult to handle. But don't forget, this Yu kingdom is still under the Ning family's rule. The sovereign then turned and waved his hand grandly. This matter will be decided by us. Do the ministers have any other matters? If not, the court is dismissed. Moments later, the sovereign returned to his study, his face filled with exhaustion and anger. However, as soon as he entered, he saw Shen Lang and Princess Ningyan fooling around. He immediately burst out angrily. Ningyan, how is it proper to frolic and laugh with a man under the bright sun? Hearing the sovereign's angry shout, Shen Lang and Ningyan quickly separated and stood properly. At that moment, seeing the sovereign's restrained expression, Shen Lang knew that the pace of the court session must have been controlled by that old fox, Sunan. Just then, the small eunuch who had been hiding behind the screen jumped out and reported Shen Lang's flirtation with the princess, adding fuel to the fire. Your Majesty, not only did Shen Lang flirt with the princess, he also exaggerated the tale. However, the sovereign didn't even glance at him and simply said a few words, drag him out and execute him. The small eunuch, thinking his scheme had succeeded, was overjoyed inside and turned to shout outside, someone, drag Shen Lang out and execute him. At that moment, Eunuch Li, who was close to the sovereign, silently glanced at him, shaking his head again. So foolish even at the end, truly deserved. The sovereign coldly said, drag this villain out and execute him by beating. As the words fell, two guards immediately stepped forward and seized the still confused small eunuch. What's happening? Sovereign, is there a mistake? The panicked small eunuch shouted, bewildered, Your Majesty, it was Shen Lang who was acting inappropriately. Why are you arresting me? I just saw him touching Princess Ning's chest. Hearing this, the sovereign's gaze instantly turned icy. Shen Lang suddenly felt a piercing cold directed at him. You despicable creature, trying to slander me even before your death. Eunuch Li told the guards, this treacherous slave, take him away and punish him with 30 strikes of the rod, the last to be fatal. Though the small eunuch had been punished, his words greatly irritated the sovereign. Shen Lang, you have quite the nerve, daring to lay hands on my daughter. Do you no longer want your hands? Before Shen Lang could even defend himself, Ningyan immediately stood up. Father, Shen Lang did not behave inappropriately towards your daughter. He only patted my chest to demonstrate the brotherly bond between us. Upon hearing this, Shen Lang nearly exploded. Madam, please don't speak. Do you want me to die faster? At that moment, Ningyan suddenly remembered Shen Lang's previous wish to become an official and recounted all his requests. At this point, Shen Lang felt like dying. Truly, it's not the godlike opponents that one fears, pig-like teammates. The sovereign also held his forehead in despair, truly wanting to ask the heavens what he had done wrong to deserve such a foolish daughter. Ningyan, please leave now. I need to speak with Shen Lang alone. Ningyan obediently left, not forgetting to say before leaving, Shen Lang, if you need help, just call for me. I'll rush in to save you. Shen Lang ignored her, his mind busy calculating how to reasonably explain the situation to the sovereign. Once Ningyan had left, Shen Lang was just about to speak when the sovereign stopped him. Don't talk. No need to explain. If there's a next time, you won't be keeping your hands. After saying this, the sovereign observed Shen Lang's reaction, then continued in a different tone. Shen Lang, you are a rare smart person, and I admire you. Shen Lang instantly sensed the threat in the sovereign's words, his heart shuddering. The message was clear. Even if you are clever, don't overstep your bounds. Luckily, he had managed to maintain a balance and continuously demonstrated his usefulness, or he might have been killed long ago. The sovereign then asked again, Shen Lang, are you aware of what just happened in the court? Shen Lang, upon hearing the question, immediately perked up. If I'm not mistaken, both the crown prince and the third prince have stepped forward to impeach Marquis Sunan. But Sunan, cunning and shrewd as he is, will surely take the initiative to admit all the charges and even propose resigning from his office as a veiled threat to your Majesty. The sovereign was startled upon hearing this. Indeed, Indeed, that's exactly what happened. Continue. Shen Lang cleared his throat and continued. After compromising with your majesty, Sunan surely proposed executing the Chang delegation, and he's also willing to pay a hefty price to appease the Chang and keep them from causing trouble during the southern conflicts. However, he also set a condition that I be sent as an envoy to Chang, with the intention of using the Chang king to eliminate me. After listening to Shen Lang's analysis, the sovereign was astonished by his talent and insight. He managed to accurately deduce the sequence of events without even attending the court session. That's truly remarkable. To hide his inner shock, the sovereign picked up his cup and said, "Since Marquis Sunan has already made his conditions, are you going or not?" Without hesitation, Shen Lang bowed deeply. "I am willing to take on this heavy responsibility." The sovereign paused, feeling as if Shen Lang had been waiting for this very question. Could it be that he had planned all this even before the Chang burnt the temple? Thinking this, the sovereign continued, "The Chang invoice will be executed immediately as a public display. If you go to Chang, you would be carrying these dozen heads with you. Not only that, but I also want the Chang king to write a letter of apology and to build a sacred temple within their territory. Can you manage that?" Shen Lang was startled, internally cursing, "Damn, with these conditions, are you sure you're not just trying to set me up?" Under the sovereign's gaze, after thinking for a while, Shen Lang firmly replied, "No problem, I accept these conditions." The sovereign then hesitated. "Shen Lang, matters of state are no child's play. This mission is akin to a life-threatening ordeal. Are you aware of that?" Shen Lang smiled. "Your Majesty, rest assured, as long as it ultimately leads to the downfall of the Sue family, Shen Lang, have nothing to fear. Apart from the travel time, I need only 1 month to complete the mission and return triumphantly." However, Shen Lang paused. "I do have one small request." The sovereign, understanding Shen Lang's intentions, "You want me to confer the title of Mythical Turtle Marquis on your father-in-law, rather than Furious Tide's Marquis? Confer Furious Tide's city to your Jin family as a rightful entitlement?" Shen Lang smiled slightly. "Your Majesty is wise. I have another request." The sovereign, somewhat impatiently, "I have already sent someone to release Jin Mutong. You need not worry." Shen Lang shook his head. "Your Majesty, may I handle this matter myself? It would be best if you could issue another decree for this." Not wanting such an unbearable charge to be recorded by the historians, the sovereign decided to let uniquely accompany Shen Lang with a verbal decree. On the way back, Shen Lang was organizing his plans. The first step of eliminating the Sue family had already been completed, and the second step was about to proceed on course. Now it was time to start planning the third step. After several investigations, he found that Zhang Chong was entirely different from Sunan. Zhang Chong was dedicated solely to politics, not greedy or selfish, and naturally had a longer vision, whereas Sunan was greedy, selfish, and malicious. Although Zhang Chong was no match for him in acting, Sunan was far behind in strategic planning, which was exactly Sunan's vulnerability. At that moment, the carriage slowly stopped outside the Jin family's private residence. Shen Lang stood up and said to uniquely, "I will go inside to wash and change clothes. Please wait here for a moment." When he got home, he saw Little Bing still drowsily waiting for him in the living room. As he was about to approach, Little Bing suddenly woke up with a start. Seeing it was Shen Lang, she excitedly rushed up to him, but then she said, "Let's go to the room. I waited for you all last night, and now that you're back, let me show you my skills." Shen Lang was startled and was about to refuse when Little Bing forcefully pulled him into the room and threw him onto the bed. Seeing Little Bing's wolf-like expression, Shen Lang couldn't help but worry. "Little Bing, I have to go pick up Jin Mutong soon and incidentally harm others. I also fought with someone all last night, and I'm really a bit worn out." However, all his explanations were in vain as Little Bing pounced on him like a hungry wolf without waiting for him to finish. "Let's first satisfy our little wolf girl at home," Shen Lang thought to himself, resigned to letting poor uniquely wait outside a bit longer. At this moment, Wang Chica, who was in the 10,000 Years County office, was furiously cursing the Chang people. "We were just one step away from convicting Jin Mutong, and then these Chang people had to go and burn the temple." All he could hope for was that the fervor over this incident would soon die down. In 10 days or half a month, he could bring up Jin Mutong's rape of a civilian woman again and perhaps use some strategies to continue the impeachment of the Jin family. However, due to his low rank, he was still completely unaware of the huge changes that had occurred in the capital city. Suddenly, he remembered the taste of Yufang's wife and waved to his secretary, "I'm a bit hungry. Call Chenshur to come and cook for me." However, 6 minutes after Chenshur arrived, Wang Chica lay on the bed looking utterly exhausted, while Chenshur, with a guilty conscience, continued to praise the good job he had done in the kitchen. She also didn't forget to urge Wang Chica to quickly take revenge on Jin Mutong for her. Wang Chica then smiled and asked her, "Do you know any methods to punish someone without leaving marks on the surface?" Upon hearing this, Chenshur's face suddenly showed a sinister expression and said, "Now is the time when leeches are rampant in the fields. Why not catch a few hundred and feed them to Jin Mutong?" Wang Chica's heart tightened upon hearing this. He hadn't expected this woman to be so vicious, but he also feared that such actions might kill Jin Mutong, making it impossible for him to report back successfully. Seeing Wang Chica's hesitation, Chenshur leaned in closer and continued, "Don't worry, Master Wang. I've read in books that this kind of torture won't kill a person. Torture him for a while and then pour a bowl of strong salt water into him, which should dissolve them. At this moment, Wang Chica, already dazzled by Qinshi's cooking skills, agreed without verifying the information. Just then, the secretary, not even bothering to knock, burst into the room in a panic. "Sir, it's bad. Shen Lang is leading a bunch of guards, about to take Jin Mutong away." Meanwhile, at the mythical Turtle Gate in capital city, Princess Ningyan was rushing to an appointment with her guards when a tall figure blocked her path. Ningyan immediately scolded, "Good dogs don't block the way. Get out of the way, big fool, or I'll run you over." The tall figure, upon hearing the shout, turned around, and it was none other than Big Fool, who had been missing for a long time. However, Ningyan didn't expect that this big fool really didn't know how to dodge, and when she got close, she couldn't stop in time. Just then, with a loud bang, everyone realized that Big Fool had lifted Ningyan, along with her horse, into the air. Ningyan was shocked. "Damn, my horse and I together weigh about 1,000 kilos, and this big fool can lift us so easily. Could he be born with superhuman strength?" Seeing this, the princess's guards thought Big Fool was an assassin and drew their swords to surround him. At this time, Big Fool, still unaware of the guards' intent to kill, gently set Ningyan down and asked, "Miss, I came here looking for Second Fool. Do you know where his house is?" This absurd question completely baffled Ningyan. "Second Fool? What Second Fool? Aren't you the Second Fool?" Big Fool naively countered, "I'm not Second Fool, I'm Big Fool. Shen Lang is Second Fool." Hearing the words of the Big Fool in front of her, Ningyan became even more confused. "That Shen Lang is craftier than a monkey. How could he have a foolish friend like you? You must have mistaken someone else for him." However, to be cautious, Ningyan still agreed to take Big Fool to see Shen Lang's residence. At that moment, a guard approached Ningyan and said, "Princess, the Crown Prince of Yunmengze is waiting at the racetrack to race with you." However, Ningyan didn't care at all. "No matter, that trash guy is just a stud horse. He'll find some horses to entertain himself if he gets bored." After saying this, she turned to Big Fool. "Big Fool, follow behind my horse when I run." Without waiting for Big Fool to respond, she grabbed the reins and galloped ahead. Big Fool then started running, swinging his arms and closely following Ningyan's horse team. However, moments later, when Ningyan looked back, she was stunned by what she saw. At that moment, Big Fool was effortlessly running alongside her behind and to the side. "My god, this fool can actually keep pace with my steed." Meanwhile, Wang Chica, who was engaging in an affair, was initially shocked upon hearing this news, but then rejoiced. "Shen Lang, you dare to raid the capital city's prison, truly seeking your own death. I see who can save you this time." He immediately got up, put on his official robe, and before leaving, he instructed Qinshe to quickly go to the fields outside the city to catch leeches, to prepare for later torturing Shen Lang and Jin Mutong. Qinshe, with a sullen, dead fish face, smirked and said, "No need to go to the fields outside the city. There are plenty of leeches in the pond behind the county office. I'll take some people to fetch them right away." Wang Chica's heart tightened, thinking to himself, this wicked woman really has everything planned out. She even knows exactly where to find leeches. Wang Chica steadied himself and told his secretary, "Immediately notify the 10,000 years leader of 1,000 households to send troops for support." At that moment, outside the 10,000 years county office, a group of constables with fire and water clubs were already blocking the entrance. Seeing this, Shen Lang in the carriage instructed Uniquely, "Stay in the carriage for now, and only come out to persuade County Magistrate Wang if he refuses to listen." Just as he stepped out of the county office, Wang Chica saw Shen Lang arriving with troops and couldn't help but angrily accuse, "How dare you, Shen Lang? Are you attempting a rebellion with such a display?" Shen Lang responded calmly, "Magistrate Wang, please release Jin Mutong immediately, or the consequences will be more than you can handle." Wang Chica laughed out loud. Such bravado from a mere son-in-law. "Do you think the burning of the sacred temple will overshadow Jin Mutong's case? Don't delude yourself." Shen Lang sneered inwardly. "Time for my acting skills to shine again." He then angrily shouted, "How dare you, Wang Chica? I am here under the sovereign's orders to release Jin Mutong. Are you going to obstruct me?" Wang Chica looked at Shen Lang with disdain. "The sovereign's orders? Then show them to me." Shen Lang's momentum weakened as he nervously said, "There is no decree, but I can discern the sovereign's intentions. It is to release Jin Mutong." Wang Chica laughed even louder. "Shen Lang, you dare presume to guess the emperor's mind? Just on that alone, you could be charged. Do you still think you can save anyone? Let me tell you, Shen Lang, releasing him is out of the question. Since you've brought troops, you might as well storm the jail." Shen Lang, furious, pointed at Wang Chica. "There is solid evidence that Jin Mutong was framed. As the magistrate, you do nothing and protect the criminals, Yufang and his wife, committing heinous crimes. Wang Chica, you might as well wait for your death." He then ordered the Jin family guards, storm the county jail and rescue Jin Mutong. Seeing this, Wang Chica was inwardly thrilled that Shen Lang had finally acted. Under the sovereign's watch, Shen Lang dared to lead family guards to assault the government office. Your Jin family might as well prepare to be raided. Moments later, observing dozens of constables severely wounded outside the county office, Uniquely almost covered his face as he witnessed everything. Shen Lang, who can chat so freely with the sovereign, are really crossing the line here. And as for Wang Chica, if he knew what Shen Lang had done, he'd probably be the one wishing for death right now. A quarter of an hour later, later, Shen Lang and his guards reached the dungeon. The bewildered Jin Mutong, sleepy-eyed and confused, didn't understand why his brother-in-law was there. It wasn't until he saw the Jin family guards behind Shen Lang that he finally snapped awake. Brother-in-law, why did you bring so many people? Are you planning a jailbreak? You must go quickly. A jailbreak is a serious crime. Jin Mutong can face trouble, but the Jin family cannot be without you. Seeing Jin Mutong so anxious, Shen Lang felt a warmth in his heart and patted his shoulder, saying, "Don't worry, with me here, everything will be alright." Shen Lang was moved, thinking, who says us big guys are foolish? He clearly understands the stakes very well. With that thought, he didn't want to explain further and directly ordered his guards to carry Jin Mutong out. No matter how much the simpleton struggled, it was futile. As they were just exiting the county office, they were stopped, and before them stood a dense crowd of soldiers from the leader of 1,000 households. Shen Lang feigned nervousness and said, "Magistrate Wang, I am here under the sovereign's orders to take Jin Mutong. Are you defying the emperor's command?" Wang Chica, looking unimpressed. "At this point, you still claim to have the sovereign's orders? Then show us the imperial decree for everyone to see." After a stern look, he pointed at Shen Lang and shouted, "Shen Lang, son-in-law of the mythical Turtle Count's mansion, you are accused of fabricating imperial orders, deceiving the emperor, bringing private family troops to attack the 10,000 Years County office, and attempting a jailbreak. This is a grave crime of rebellion. Arrest them immediately. If they resist, kill them without mercy." Just then, with heavy troops ready to advance at Wang Chica's command toward Shen Lang and others, Shen Lang calmly pulled back the curtain of the carriage, revealing Uniquely, who had been waiting inside for a long time. Wang Chica's pupils dilated in shock, realizing it was indeed Uniquely, the sovereign's close eunuch. Uniquely, standing solemnly before everyone, declared, by verbal decree of the sovereign, the case against Jin Mutong is entirely fabricated. The magistrate of 10,000 years is ordered to release him immediately. The merchant Yufang has been illegally selling forbidden books, The Amorous History of East Departure, and is sentenced to have his entire family executed. Wang Chica felt as if thunderstruck, not expecting Shen Lang to truly have a verbal decree from the sovereign. Yufang, terrified, knelt on the ground, pleading incessantly, "I really haven't sold The Amorous History of East Departure." Hearing the venomous Chinchur, still unaware of the seriousness of the situation, accusing Shen Lang loudly and even demanding that Wang Chica continue to advocate for her, terrified Wang Chica to the core. "Woman, shut your mouth. You may not care about your life, but don't drag me down with you." Shen Lang just smirked and ordered the capture of the couple. Under their horrified gaze, Shen 13 and another guard forced them to kneel, causing the bowl in Chinchur's hands to drop. "What is this?" Shen Lang curiously approached the bowl filled with leeches, and looking at the slippery, plump insects, commented, "These are quite cute and must be very nutritious as well." When Shen Lang brought the bowl close to Chinchur, she finally realized the gravity of the situation. Turning pale, Chinchur was completely paralyzed with fear. Then Shen Lang turned to Jin Mutong and said, "It's fine to feel pity for the unfortunate, but don't try to change someone's fate too hastily. Human desires are endless. Remember this lesson, understand?" Jin Mutong nodded, showing regret in his gaze. Now fully aware of her dire circumstances, Chinchur knelt and began to shout out desperately to Shen Lang for mercy. She then pointed directly at Yufang, exclaiming, "It was him, Yufang, who had me drug Jin Mutong to frame him, and County Magistrate Wang Chica orchestrated it. He also threatened and raped me twice. Master Shen, I've confessed everything. Please spare me." Hearing Chinchur's words, Shen Lang glanced at her disdainfully and said, "It doesn't matter who did it. I no longer care about the truth, and no one else cares about the truth of this matter anymore." He then ordered Shen 13 to pry open Chinchur's mouth and pour half a bowl of leeches into it. Chinchur tried to spit them out, but Shen 13 firmly held her mouth closed until she swallowed the leeches. In moments, Chinchur was writhing on the ground in agony, screaming miserably. Meanwhile, Yufang, having witnessed the whole scene, was reduced to babbling incoherently, still muttering about his ambitions to become an official and his lack of regret for his actions. Before he could continue, Shen Lang had someone pry open his mouth and pour the rest of the leeches in. Soon, the couple's screams like slaughtered pigs filled the streets outside the county office. Seeing this horrifying scene, Wang Chica, thinking he might be next, collapsed in terror. Shen Lang merely glanced at him and told Shen 13, "Their screaming is too disturbing. Finish them off." He then approached Wang Chica, grabbed his official robe, and coldly stated, "Magistrate Wang, not only have you defied the imperial edict, but you have also involved the military forces of the 1,000 Households office in your defiance. With such an imposing display, what exactly are you planning?" Shen Lang then slapped Wang Chica, following with several more swift slaps, raining down on him. "Wang Chica, you incompetent and stupid magistrate, each slap I deliver is well deserved, understand? You better think about how you're going to survive this ordeal." Meanwhile, at Yufang's home, his mother was eating with two young maids, selfishly consuming meat while letting the children only have rice porridge. Seeing the children eyeing the meat, the old woman's eyes filled with disgust and disdain, cursively calling them worthless. This scene was fully observed by Shen Lang as he entered the house. Although he said nothing, Jin Mutong behind him felt both pity and anger. When the little girls saw Jin Mutong, they excitedly rushed into his arms. Seeing Jin Mutong, Yufang's mother was shocked, blurting out, "Isn't that fatty supposed to be in jail? How did he get out?" Startled, she stood up and shouted about going to report to the authorities. Shen Lang watched the venomous old Mrs. Yu flailing about, a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. Jin Mutong also sensed his brother-in-law's intentions and quickly scooped up the two little girls and headed out the door. At that moment, Shen Lang coldly said, "Old lady, your son and daughter-in-law are already dead. A family should stay together, so you might as well join them on the road to the afterlife." He then turned and left the matter to Shen 13, ignoring the old lady's wailing behind him. The entire Yu family, except for the two children, was wiped out. On the other side, Princess Ningyan, accompanied by Big Fool, arrived outside the Jin residence. At this time, Big Fool was outside the courtyard shouting Shen Lang's name until little Bing inside heard the noise and came out. Seeing Big Fool, she was initially startled, but after seeing Princess Ningyan, she disdainfully glanced at the poorly dressed Big Fool and said, "The master isn't home right now. You guys go inside and wait for him." Inside the house, the opportunistic little Bing was currying favor with Princess Ningyan, completely ignoring Big Fool. Feeling bored, Big Fool simply got up and went to the backyard. Moments later, while Big Fool was studying ants, he suddenly heard Shen Lang's footsteps and excitedly jumped up to rush outside toward Shen Lang. Shen Lang was initially startled, but was quickly embraced tightly by Big Fool, with a series of crackling sounds coming from Shen Lang's body. Shen Lang pleaded with a voice trembling from despair, "Big Fool, let go. I'm going to die if you don't." Big Fool then realized his mistake and quickly set Shen Lang down, looking at him with a goofy smile. After catching his breath, Shen Lang noticed that Big Fool seemed to have grown taller again, definitely over 2 meters 3. Shocked, Shen Lang asked, "Big Fool, where did your master go? Why did he leave you behind?" Big Fool thought for a moment and said, "He seemed to be going to fight someone called the Snow Mountain Demon and said he was also going to find me a wife on the way." Huang Feng, who was behind him, was startled upon hearing this name and came forward to ask Big Fool, "Who's your master? Why would he fight with my master?" Big Fool told her his master was Zhong Chuk, but he didn't know why they were fighting. Upon hearing Big Fool's master's name, Huang Feng also understood the reason. It turns out the Snow Mountain Demon was a powerhouse close to the Great Master level, and although Yu country only had 6 Grandmaster spots, one could only replace another by defeating one. Unfortunately, she hadn't been able to defeat even the weakest Grandmaster, Zhong Chuk, in the past 7 to 8 years. But Shen Lang's gossiping mind wasn't focused on that. He looked up at Big Fool and asked, "Your master went to find you a wife. Do you know who she is?" Big Fool thought about it and said, "I heard my master say she's the direct disciple of the Snow-Hidden Grandmaster. This Snow-Hidden Great Master is one of the 6 Great Masters." Zhong Chuk has really spared no expense for Big Fool. Little Bing, hearing Shen Lang and the others' voices inside the house, immediately ran out happily. When she saw the 2 adorable children in Jin Mutong's arms, she was even more delighted. Meanwhile, Ningyan, seeing Jin Mutong, began to tease him mockingly, "Fatso, you really are disgraceful, actually raping that bookseller's wife." Hearing this, Jin Mutong hastily handed the children to little Bing, then tried his best to explain that he had been drugged and was the real victim. At this moment, Big Fool suddenly asked from behind, "Third Fool, what is rape?" Fatso, hearing this question, was even more frustrated. "Big Fool, shut up, don't talk, I just want some peace right now." Suddenly, Shen Lang asked, "Big Fool, how is your martial arts training going? Can you help me knock out opponents with one punch?" Big Fool laughed foolishly and said, "No, my master scolds me every day. He even says pigs are better than me." Shen Lang took a deep breath and continued to ask, "Then has your master taught you any powerful sword techniques or internal skills?" Big Fool was even more confused. "Sword techniques? Master said he will teach me next year. And also, second fool, what is internal skill?" Hearing such a response, Shen Lang was utterly speechless. "Zhong Chuk, what kind of great master are you? It's been half a year and Big Fool still hasn't learned anything. No wonder my Mulan also makes slow progress under you. Being last in the great master's ranking really makes sense now." Then Big Fool added, "My master also said to find Ning Jia, to have a fight with her disciple, saying that this way I could establish myself in the capital." Ning Yan was also stunned. "Aunt Ning Jia's disciple is me? Big Fool wants to fight me. A gentleman may be killed, but not insulted. Can I, a princess of the state, handle a fool who knows nothing?" Saying this, she grabbed Shen Lang's hand and headed for the door. "Let's go. Let's find Aunt Ning Jia." Watching their departing figures, little Bing frowned. "Princess Ning Yan, aren't you supposed to duel Big Fool? Why are you holding my man's hand? Shameless woman."